We love your station.
It's great.
Listen here. Listen here. Ghana Talks Radio. Ghana Talks Radio. Ghana Talks Radio. Get it big, get it here. Listen to all your live mixes, live radio programs, and live entertaining and news package programs right here from GTR. Ghana Talks Radio.
Ecstatic made it.
Yeah, nobody feeling the way I'm feeling tonight. Yeah, and I have the hope that things will be alright.
Good afternoon, welcome
So we're feeling irate.
to the cubicle right here on Ghana Talks Radio.
We are hoping, say that one day things go better.
It's 45 minutes past 2 p.m. right here in Ghana, and we are coming your way from Anya in the Greater Accra region. It's time for the sports review segment on the cubicle with me, Lancer Haruna, live on Ghana Talks Radio. We are streaming live on our website at www.ghanatalksradio.com and on Facebook and YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio.
Brother, know they quiver, we go
Today we have some few stories, sporting stories to discuss. Starting with the unfortunate situation that our brother has found himself in.
Go smack him on that
That is Christian Atsu.
Here we go again.
There have been a lot of conflicting reports. We had some good news that was on Tuesday, but since then there's a whole lot of
Here we go again.
uncertainty in the issue regarding Atsu's safety.
I so bad every day I pray to Baba. Say if I deliver me with the paper, I want to build house for Mama. I didn't believe in my hustle, but man they pray.
So we'll just touch a little bit on that. I don't want us to discuss it so much. It's a very, very sad situation, so it's not good to be discussing too much like that. Then we move to the FIFA Club World Cup, where Real Madrid are trying to win it again. They are now in the semi-final stage. They playing Al Hilal. Touch on the Club World Cup. When you look at the Man City issue, the Manchester City issue, you know they have been charged. They've been charged of some offences, and they are possibly looking at a relegation as a punishment for what? For breaching some of the rules. We'll discuss that.
We go smack up like Undertaker. When the things go harder, we go stronger than no.
As you know, I'm always joined by Limjo. Limjo helps me with the discussion right here on the show. So let's quickly welcome Limjo to the show. Take his initial thoughts on the Christian Atsu issue. Additionally, we're also looking at Lebron James, bro. I nearly forgot Lebron James is now the highest scorer in NBA history after he surpassed the record of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. What does it make for a good debate in the NBA? Does it was solidify and cement his status as the greatest basketball player? So this is more with Lim. Lim, welcome to the show once again. Thank you for your time. Okay. Let's take a short break. Then when we come back, we'll get into the discussion. So I have Limjo with me. Limjo, let's take a break. We saw this thing out. Then when we come back, we get right into the discussion. So stick and stay. We are still live on the sports review segment of the Cubicle with me, Lancer Haruna, on Ghana Talks Radio. We'll be right back after the short break.
Get it big, get it here. Listen to all your live mixes, and live entertaining and news package programs right here from GTR. Ghana Talks Radio.
What's up, people? I'm about name going to crack. Now with the level, time it's going to crack. Every Friday on Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Someone when you wouldn't doubt it. I got another segment for you guys. Now listen, it's all about the up and coming round. You be rapper, you the sing, all you feel, you get talent, you get songs. No, listen, send your songs, picture via round table at GhanaTalksRadio.com. Or just WhatsApp us on 02725444614. Up and coming artists round table and I'll listen. Every week you be on it, we go select 10 best artists. I'm a judge of good things did you. Only team you know, only you best one. But we never forget the fans and all over social media. many prizes for this solution. So up and coming one.
Station back in the day.
Here to the Cubicle Live on Ghana Talk Studio. Before the break, we were just welcoming Lim Joe. Like I said, we're looking at 4 stories. The Christian Atsu situation far away in Turkey. We're looking at Manchester City and their charges and the possible punishment they'll be facing. We look at Lebron James breaking Karim Abdul-Jabbar's record in the NBA, and then we now look at the Club World Cup. Lim Joe, I hope you can hear me better now.
I think it's a bit better now.
Okay, that's good to know. Charlie, welcome. Let's start on the Christian Atsu issue. It's been a story that has evolved since the weekend to Monday. We're not sure what's happening, and then we heard reports that he was found. But then later, the ambassador of Ghana to Turkey is saying that they cannot identify him, they cannot find him in the hospital. Now there are speculations that there was a mistaken identity. What is going on, and what do you make of the whole situation in general?
First of all, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate the situation that is happening in Turkey and Syria, and then I learned that I think the death toll is about 2,000 people, which is really unfortunate. I like to believe that it is not Christian Atsu is not the only Ghanaian affected. By this.
Over 20,000 people.
He seems to be the notable person at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yes, I know since it's good to go public and all that, so he will be like the main focus of the media. It's very unfortunate what it is. When the news came out and later when we heard that he's been found, I think a lot of us were really happy that he's been found, only to also see another report from another journalist saying that he was in contact with Christian Atsu's manager or the agent, and the agent mentioned that he hasn't been in contact with Christian after the news of after the news that he was found. I think the club president or the club chairman also mentioned that there was a mistaken identity because they thought they had found him and they thought he was sent to the hospital, only for them to actually get close and find out that it wasn't Christian Atsu. So I think for all this while, there have been no news of him. I don't sound so gloomy and kind of like an agent of doom or anything, but if for everything that has happened, and this is not kind of like the first time something like we are being previewed to some tragic news of this sort or something of the sort, but there's always the part where we always hope that the person is found.
Yes.
But then, as time goes by and you're not hearing any news, the hope seems to fade away.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for me, that is the point I am at, is that I think the unfortunate has happened, because if it's been days that there has been no news, that's all my mind tells me now, that I think the unfortunate has happened. But notwithstanding that, I still believe that a miracle could happen and he could be found. So I'm just praying and hoping that he's found along with some other people and of Ghanaian interest. And even extending that also, I think there are about 3 female footballers who are also in Turkey when the thing happened. But the news is that they are good. And then the club that Atsu plays for, it's High Sport. I may be wrong with the name. They also confirmed that a player of theirs has also passed on the same charges. So it's unfortunate where we find ourselves in the world. And this is of no fault. This is nobody's fault. It's a natural disaster. It's thoughts and prayers to the family of Christian Atsu.
This particular tragedy, if you want to actually understand the severity of what's happening in Turkey, you just have, if you don't want to feel sad, just don't look for the news, because it's hard. Just right now, on our page on GhanaTalksRadio.com, we have 16,000 plus so far. Almost 20,000 people have not been accounted for or have been registered as dead.
Hello.
It's very sickening, and let's move on. We all pray since this story broke, since Sunday evening. We've all been praying for the strength and glory for and grace and miracle for our children. Let's keep that in our hearts and pray for our brother, because, bro, it's a very sad thing. A lot of people actually admire him for his what do you call it? This kind of generosity that he has when he comes home from school, football.
I mean, on social media, a lot of us know that he has a very good relationship with Wakasu, because they've always been joking around, making fun of each other, especially on Twitter and on Facebook. So maybe close friends as well, his mates, his teammates and all. They might also be going through a lot, and notwithstanding the family as well. I learned the sister who was all she wanted to do was to just see the brother in person. So she wasn't going to believe news reports as to if he's been found or not. But then she wanted to actually just be able to see him. So I think that is what is happening at the moment.
We continue to send our prayers and strength across to whoever is stuck under the rubble, bro. 20,000, 16,000 plus is not a small number. It's like a constituency in Ghana, a full constituency. Just out of just because challenge. You can't even talk about it. Bro, let's look at moving on to this another story. Let's look at this another issue that's happening that's going the wrong way for Manchester City. I think we should start on that note, that point. Over the week, we heard the reports that Man City are back again at court or in court for offences, including financial financial obligations. They broke those rules and regulations, and now the FA is pursuing charges against them. These charges were unprecedented. That's never happened before. Eventually, they were found guilty. The club has been found guilty. This is not the first time they have been found guilty, actually, in this kind of charges. But this time it looks like it's severe. What do you understand by the whole Man City issue, bro, from the beginning? What do you understand by the Man City issue, and what do you think the punishment can be? Because some people are saying that it can be worse. They can be stripped of their titles and they can be relegated. What do I see?
So the Man City issue, I mean, this is not the first time this issue is being raised against them. The first time was, I think, about a couple of years ago, probably like 2 or 3 years ago, when they were even banned from making transfers, buying players and all, because they had an issue with the UEFA. UEFA were investigating something similar, and they found out that there were some financial irregularities with Man City. But I think Man City took the matter on. And then they were able to fight it out on the basis of, for the time span or the time duration at which it was being thrown. I think they won that case on the basis of it was out of the duration. So, I mean, that was that. But on the side of the EPL or the Premier League board, the time duration doesn't exist as part of those investigations. So, I mean, it could be the same thing. But if with one body, it was more of like the thing happened too many years back, we can't go and be digging into whatever it is. Another body is also saying that we don't have that as part of our rules, that it is too many years back, so we can't do it. If it is even as far back in 1992, they'll still go back. And then
prosecute it,
they'll be able to dig out things like that. So now it's a different board. For whatever it looks like, I think I wouldn't say that I think Man City is guilty of anything.
But they were just found guilty. They actually found guilty by the law, the court or the board, that the trial, the prosecution. So.
Yeah, so for whatever
you still believe that they are innocent in a way. They can go back.
They could be innocent, they could be guilty. I mean, but then it's more of like some things really do not add up to the Premier League board, so they want answers.
Why do
And
you have that notion?
They don't have certain documentations or the actual documentations to the amount of money that Mancini was being paid.
Okay.
They don't have things like that to them. So I mean, if a city board is able to really show that, okay, this is what they presented and this is what is being leveled against them, and like they're able to show themselves clean, I think it will be good. But on the flip side, we do know that this matter, or it's been told that this matter is not a 1 year matter. It's not a few months matter.
Yeah,
it could be
elongated.
An issue that will drag on for as long as maybe 4 years. Even.
Okay.
Now, to the sanctions, I mean, it could be a fine, which is most likely that the fine portion would definitely happen, because even with UEFA, when UEFA overturn everything, they still
fine them for something.
They still fine Man City as a club for all those things. But what didn't make sense at that moment was, how do you declare that somebody is innocent, but still make them pay something?
Yeah, it was 300,000, some small money that they should pay. Yeah.
So which was questionable at the time. So at this point, yes, they'll definitely pay a fine. We don't know when, we don't know how much. And then the other thing is they could have their points also deducted. We don't know when, we don't know how many points. The points, but from where I sit, I don't think anything will happen in terms of points to this season. I think it will take effect from the following season coming, because they are still running investigations. They are still trying to find out the extent. They are still trying to get to the end of the whole matter. So I don't think in the course of this season that will happen. Now there have been speculations as in, if anything happens, they could be stripped off their titles. The titles they've won in that duration. And I mean, it's a possibility, because it happened to Juventus before. It happened to Juventus before, where the title that they won, I think in 2009 or 2010 or so, it was stripped off and was given to Inter Milan. Okay. So I mean, if it happens, then that means that it's mostly Man United and Liverpool that are going to be benefit in that time frame. Well, that is another possibility, but we don't know that for sure. And the other, or I think the harshest of the possibilities could be that they will be yanked out of the Premier League and sent to the Championship. I mean, that could be extremely harsh. I don't think it will get to that point. But then again, I also look at it as if that happens, then that means that they be stripped of the titles they've won would also be in succession. I feel like those two punishments could go hand in hand.
So they were relegated and then they will strip off their titles.
Yes, because I mean, in the case of Juventus, when they were sent to Serie C, and in Syria, when they were found guilty and sent to Serie C, they had all their league titles stripped off them. In that time, they had their league titles stripped off them. So, I mean, those are like two harsh punishments that go hand in hand. So, I think if it will go to that point of them being
relegated,
demoted to a lower league, I think they would have their Premier League titles also taken from them.
Do we?
I think it will come down to if the players there at the time would also be loyal to be able to help them fight and come back.
Most of them will leave, but the money can keep them, because I don't think it will affect Man City much in terms of finances, even though the status and the recognition as a Premier League player, most of them may want to attach with themselves with it. But even Pep Guardiola, for me, I feel like even if they are relegated, the way Pep Guardiola is committed to that club, I'm sure he'll follow them down. But it goes to say that these things happen in football in a way that, and that's why I'm just trying to the competition. You see, I'm trying to even highlight what I can highlight what Manchester City means in the Premier League. Looking at the club that over the last 10 years, possibly, have won trophies upon trophies. Over the last decade, they have been one of the top players, the top teams in the league across Europe. They have bought players. They have spent money. They've brought in top class coaches. They have Pep Guardiola over 7 years now, winning trophies. This particular club has helped in a way build the brand of the Premier League. Before then, we used to have Manchester United, Arsenal, and Liverpool. Man City came in and then they increased the competition in the EPL. Manchester City came in and they raised the standard of the EPL in terms of the kind of game that they played, the kind of coaches that they had, the facilities, all the money they pump in. So the EPL cannot say that they've not benefited in any way from Manchester City. How do you assess the importance of Man City to the brand of the EPL in these days?
The importance of Man City. So I have always said this. I've said this years before, and I continue to say that for whatever Man United was before, Man City will be now.
Okay.
Because Man United from the 90s have been a team that have always been
successful,
a powerhouse in football, and it's the biggest club in England. I don't think there's any doubt in that. They've had a whole lot of financial success way back from the 90s, entering the 2000s, getting new owners. Then it's like they continue to dominate, or they continued to dominate football in England. And it was all down to having good finances. And I think for Man United, it was accounted for. So for the Premier League, they benefited from the bringing in of top talent to the league. The likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Van der Sar, you name them.
Van Nistelrooy, cool.
So the Premier League benefited from United having the huge
financial backing,
the huge finances to be able to bring in top talent. I think in similar way, the Premier League have benefited from Man City when they brought in Kevin De Bruyne from Germany. Because initially he was at Chelsea, but he was sold to Wolfsburg in Germany, and then Man City got him.
Bernardo Silva, with all the Silvers, all the Aguero.
Even the coach Pep Guardiola, like the Silvers you've mentioned, Sergio Aguero, Yaya Toure
and co. Haaland.
Yes, and even for their locals, people like Joe Hart, Michael Richards, Lionel Lescott, they've given them a chance, and those people have played or have capped for England. So I think the Premier League, when they look at it in that sense, Man City have paid or has contributed to the benefit, like to the promotion of their league, and even right now, one of their brightest prospects, that is in Phil Foden. Not forgetting that Man City have a very good academy where the likes of Jadon Sancho also came from.
See the small boys that are coming from the academy from Man City.
Yes, so the Premier League have benefited from Man City's success in the Premier League. At the same time, other teams also became poor, like in terms of not competing strong enough. The likes of Chelsea is always flashing. The likes of United still trying to recover from 2013 Sir Alex Ferguson retirement. Arsenal also struggling because they were trying to pay off debt for building a new stadium, of which Arsene Wenger helped them accomplish. But then still struggling to
catch up.
Good competitions because now it was like Man City had thrown them off. So now it's more of like the teams that were always competing at that point before Man City's emergence. It's like at this point they are tired, and Man City Man City's injection of cash has given them new life when the other people are tired. So it's like it's not that the other people are also trying to get up and catch up and all that. Man City have paid their dues to the Premier League, but it doesn't also take out the fact that, or not even the fact, it doesn't take out the possibility that the Premier League board would want a fair ruling.
Okay.
I'll still use Juventus as a class because I think they have gone through something very similar. And even in this season, they have gone through something
they
similar.
Had 15,
they
have 15 points that deducted from their point tally. Yeah.
So I think for this whole matter, Juventus would always be the perfect case study for this Man City issue.
That's wonderful.
You can't tell me that looking at Serie A down the line, Juventus didn't pay their dues and they actually represented greatly to the rise of the Serie A and making it as formidable as it was. They greatly contributed, but when it came to having things done the right way, they didn't look at those things that Juventus has done just for the Premier League or Juventus has done just for the Serie A. They took the decision that they knew that Juventus had to pay for the wrongs that they had done.
Is that on
if Man City is found guilty, I think that a similar approach should also be taken.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. If they've gone against the rules, they should be punished according to what they have done. But let's see what happens. This is not the first time they have been dragged in this process. They survived the one with the UEFA. Let's see whether they can survive this. I know they are petitioning or they are what's the name for that term? See, I'm lost. I can't even remember the term that when you lose the case, what you do. But that is they are going back there to try and fight the case back and see whether they can overturn that decision. But bro, let's take a short break. But when we come back, I want you to just see whether this debate has been settled forever and forevermore. Michael Jordan and then Lebron James. Who is the greatest of all time? For me, I don't follow NBA but I know that this debate has been going on, especially even former legends, former NBA stars, Hall of Famers are all divided. Most of the old school are saying that now Michael Jordan can never be surpassed by any player, no matter the statistics. Meanwhile, the new school is like, no, what LeBron James is doing, the numbers are incredible, unprecedented. They never happened before. Just recently, he broke the all-time score record that was set by Abdul Jabbar almost 30-something years ago. This is not small number. He has the rings already. He has everything that you need to be the GOAT. Does that make him the GOAT? Or Michael Jordan is still unsurpassed? When we come back from the break, bro, brief break. When we come back, Lembe, I want to hear your thoughts on those issues. So stick and stay with us. We'll be right back after the short break.
Ghana Talks Radio. Ghana Talks Radio. Ghana Talks Radio.
The matters of love are the matters of the heart.
Is that so? Why do we separate between emotions and reason?
Under the Unte, we pick the most daring of issues surrounding love, relationships, and family lives.
We speak on the topic most people like to keep to themselves.
With our brilliant panelists, we open the discussions into your love life.
So join us this and every Thursday at 8 p.m. live on Ghana Talks Radio.
Be a part of the conversation, enjoy the excitement, and let's find the answers together.
So make time with DJ Cham and Ohimashumude this evening tonight at 8 p.m. with Odomon Sem. Odomon Sem is where we discuss the matters of the hard love. But right now we are having a discussion. We are discussing LeBron James and Michael Jordan. These two gentlemen have been at the highest of football, basketball. The debate has been on who has been the GOAT, who is the GOAT, who is the greatest of all time, bro. With the record that LeBron James has just broken, does it now solidify and cement his status as the greatest of all time in basketball? Lame.
I think this debate will never end.
Yeah.
It will never end, and I think it's always very subjective because I think NBA NBA do not, although they respect the records. They respect the records that have been done by
all the
like
greats.
stars, legends, and all. They also look at certain plays and certain game-changing
moments.
The game-changing moments. Some people would mention that, like some people of a very small community would say that Shaquille O'Neal is the greatest, or he changed the game, or something.
Okay.
Because Shaquille O'Neal single-handedly is the reason why they had to change their backboards so many times. The tech they had, because he shattered about 7 backboards.
Okay.
I just dunked. You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Steph Curry has been shooting 3 points like
it's 1 point.
You see, and he's leading all time. He's leading all time 3-pointers. Above Ray Allen, and he's done it in fewer games than we have today. And I think that this debate will never ever end.
So for you,
because it's more of like they look at the impact when
the influence. Okay.
When Michael Jordan was with the Bulls hadn't won their championship for a very long time, and then Michael Jordan took them to win about 5 or 6 playoffs or so. So it's more like, okay, Michael Jordan is the turning, or was the turning point for the Bulls at the time. Kobe, I think, similar his mentality and all that. So Kobe would also be spoken in a similar regard. People that had watched the basketball from the 80s, from even 60s, 70s, and 80s, would say that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was like phenomenal. And I have seen clips of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I'm like, this guy
should be the good. I also after I watch his club, like, okay, he's very good.
Yeah, I see him, I'm like, this guy is nuts, because he's really, really tall, but the way I saw it, he wasn't dunking. Like, he was mostly assisting and then scoring. So, I mean, in all those things, it's more of like the impact. And then comes LeBron James. I read, or I think I was watching a footage where somebody made a comparison amongst LeBron, Michael Jordan, and then Kobe. Now, the person mentioned that when Michael Jordan came into the game, when he was with
the Bulls.
Bulls. I think their coach at that time was Coach Carter. I could be wrong with the name, but I think the name was Coach Carter. And Coach Carter had won championships in other teams, other franchises before coming to
the
Bulls. So it was more of like he had somebody to learn from. He had somebody that knew it all to learn from. Then that goes to Kobe. Kobe also played under a very good coach. I've forgotten the name, but he played under a very good coach who had also won championships in different franchises before coming to the Lakers. So it's more of like Kobe also had somebody to learn from in that regard. But then there comes LeBron James, who starts under coaches who are not winning the
elite,
who have not won championships in different franchises. But then it is LeBron who is sort of like dragging his team along to win championships. So you see, in that regard, somebody said LeBron is the greatest of all time. In another regard, like I explained earlier, somebody say Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. And in another regard, it would always be Kobe. And people of the 70s especially, because I believe that's the time duration that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played a lot, would also say him. Other people would also say MJ, not Michael Jordan, but Magic Johnson. Yes. So I don't think that debate is going to ever die.
This good debate, I don't know why we always have it, and it will never go up. And the reason is that
it will never die.
Almost
same as that debate in football.
In football, it
will never die.
Sometimes I just feel like, for me, I don't know what I can have. I can crack a thin line between why this debate is going on. But do we consider the influence of the person on the game? Do we consider the statistics of the person in the game? And do we consider the overall brand of that person? So for example, MJ, the brand is very big. Michael Jordan's brand is very, very big. But stats-wise, it looks like LeBron has overtaken or is overtaking him. When it comes to impact, the impact of the game, if you look at what do you call it? For example, Abdul Jabbar, the way he used to hook the ball into, because of him, the game has changed. Steph Curry, because of him, the 3-pointer now, all the teams are now playing 3 points. They are now trying to score 3 pointers. First, it was go to the place and score 2, get to the basket. Now the game has changed because of the way he plays the game. Every team wants to score like Steph Curry. Kobe, when Kobe was there, people wanted to play the game like Kobe was playing the game. Everybody had their own influences in some way. So why do you sit down and just say that, okay, one person should be the good? Bro, pick your goal, let me pick my goal. Like I pick Messi and I pick Ronaldo. Everybody has their own good. But is it possible for a sport to have a goat?
See, basketball is a very statistical game.
Okay.
It's more, I think they use stats a lot more than any other game that I can think of. Even more than football. Because football in the 90s wasn't about stats. Even early 2000s, it wasn't about stats. It was more about you watching the person and knowing the impact. That is how come somebody like Zinedine Zidane was able to win World Best Player at a point. But that's how come Cannavaro was also able to win Best Player at a point.
Kaka.
Kaka. It was more of impact. It wasn't just about numbers. Because, I mean, a ball can come and hit somebody's shin, and then if you score and it's a goal. Somebody, not an assist. It's not maybe miscued a shot.
Yeah, and someone taps in.
Player taps in, and it's like an assist.
Yeah.
But you see, in NBA, in basketball, it's like there are stats for almost everything. Okay. There's a stats for the number of times the backboard has been shattered, which the most is Shaquille O'Neal. There's stats for most 3-pointers. There's stats for rebounds. There's stats for turnovers. There's stats for just anything at all. There's stats for scoring. The jump shot.
And these stats were recorded like long ago.
Yes, these stats started long ago. There are stats for probably like doing I think probably they will count the number of layers that somebody has done to shoot 2-pointers as opposed to the jump shots in getting 2-pointers. There are stats for all that.
Okay.
So people can look at those stats individually and say that, okay, this person is shattering the stats, this person is shattering the stats, and all. There comes somebody like who was so obsessed when he was at Candace. This guy at the Lakers now, Russell Westbrook. Well, he would always want to have a triple-double. Simply, the triple-double is having double figures in
rebounds and
scoring, assists, and rebounds. So having double figures in all those is the triple-double. And he was so obsessed with it that he always wanted to score, he always wanted to assist, he always wanted to have more rebounds than any other in a game. I mean, so that is him. So his nickname is a triple-double because after every game,
he wants to check to know that no one got those triple-doubles than him.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I have seen less of NJ.
Okay.
At the time I started following the NBA, NJ was kind of like at the end of his career. Almost. So I didn't see much of him, but I have seen his influence. And I think I wasn't really paying attention to the NBA, so I wasn't really watching Kobe that much. But at the end of NJ's career was the beginning of Kobe's career, and Kobe was looking at NJ to do certain things.
Yes.
And Kobe also added his own
influence.
So Kobe also has his, and then LeBron. I'm always torn between who I have to choose as my GOAT because I think everybody has been exceptional in different ways, like exceptional in different ways. So I really can't speak. But maybe if for old timers' sake and old school sake, I'll say Michael Jordan, especially because of the influence in terms of the branding and all. Because I mean, right now PSG has a Jumpman kit, which is Michael Jordan inspired. I mean, and this takes me back to the point where when Messi moved to PSG, and there were so many talks about Messi being a bigger brand than Jordan, and I was like, yo, first of all, relax. Messi is not even the biggest brand in football.
That one day, Messi's brand can even come closer to Ronaldo's brand in no terms.
Yes, he wasn't. He's not the biggest one in football, but at the time, because of the numbers and everything that were involved in Messi making the move, so it seemed as if it was comparable. But when everything died down, and you actually compare, you could see that Messi is not close to Jordan in terms of
A
the brand influence.
You know,
Messi is not even close to Ronaldo in terms of the influence of the branding.
you know, there's something interesting that I just came to my mind that we, all of us, for example, even in music, if you ask someone who is the greatest hip hop artist, you say Tupac, Biggie, or Nas. When you ask someone who is the best football player, he mentions Pele, Maradona, and now recently mentioning Ronaldo. If you ask MB, they go to MJ. It looks like those in the 90s actually, those who were excellent in the 90s were doing brand new stuff that we are now doing. And it looks like, about this thing, we started it sometime. We started hip hop. We started making, going to winning 6 out of 6 finals. We started being the greatest of all time in those times. So we are just borrowing from our fame. We are borrowing from what we've done before. So there's no way you can own what we created. I think that's why we always have that kind of debate between who is the good. Because no matter how LeBron James plays basketball, there's no way anyone will say that he didn't take that the clout of Michael Jordan in basketball. He didn't enjoy that clout. There's no way any rapper who raps in hip hop will say that Tupac and Biggie's clout he didn't benefit from that. And you cannot benefit from someone's clout.
Tupac and Biggie are people that died in the 90s. They died in
yes.
Their music is still like
Bob Marley, for instance. Bob Marley. There's no way reggae artists will say I didn't benefit from Bob Marley's clout. So you cannot enjoy from someone's clout and try to assume the position of being the first or being the greatest. It doesn't happen. Like you cannot play in the shadow of Jordan and say that you are the greatest because all that you are enjoying, Jordan was the one who started everything. I think that's why we have the GOAT debate all the time, bro. We are almost out of time. Just 1 minute, bro. There's the club walk away on looks like because of the Turkey issue and some of the issues that's happening in Pilman. No one's paying attention. But Madrid are in the semi-final. Do you think they'll win it, or do you have competition from
the Club World Cup competition is kind of like the easiest club competition for any club. Any club that finds themselves there is kind of like the easiest.
Especially for
Europe, it's the easiest for every European club because it's just taking the champions from each continent and then playing against each other and then you win. Right now, Madrid will be facing off with Al Hilal from. Wait, is it Al Hilal from?
Is it Egypt?
How do you call it? From Saudi Arabia or
Egypt?
I'm not
sure.
I think it's Al Hilal from Saudi Arabia. There are so many Al Hilals that, but yeah, I think it's Al Hilal from Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And Madrid is facing off with Al Hilal. I think it's an easy win for Real Madrid. Real Madrid they are struggling recently, but I don't think that will matter when they face
any other team from any other club.
So I think they'll win it, and probably the Al Ahly and then Flamengo. That will be tough. I think that will be the tough one. Probably the Brazilians will be able to win it. And that's I see it back. I mean, it doesn't mean that the Egyptians can also pull a surprise. The Club World Cup competition is. I always deem it as kind of like the easiest
for European teams.
Because I mean, you win a Champions League, then you win a CAF, you win a CONMEBOL or CONCACAF, all those things. And
gone are the days where our Ghana will produce Kotoko or Hearts of Oak to be able to go and play in that tournament.
Yeah, but I mean, that is a whole discussion on its own. Because we would have to go into the FA and everything that's happening in some time.
We can't even get out of group stages in the CAF Champions League. How can we even dream of getting back to that stage at the Club World Cup? But maybe in the near future, our football will get back to its feet.
First of all, our league is not up to scratch. So forget. So I think our hopes of always wanting our clubs to perform based on the African continent would always be very limited. Would always be very limited.
Okay.
Classic evidence is Chan. Our Chan tournament. Classic evidence is this the AFCON. The AFCON is even one. The AFCON is one. But I think the very classic one that we can all use is CHAN, because that is players in the local league of the country.
And we just went there with our big names and just messed up.
And it just shows how poor our league has been. It just shows that.
We still have a long way to go. We still have a very, very long way to go. Yeah,
we do have some way to go.
Yeah, Charlie, I also say thank you for joining me. We're out of time, but I actually enjoyed the conversation, especially with the restarting on the master level, then going to the Lebron James and Michael Jordan comparison, and then ending with this local, the Club World Cup, and then back to our Ghanaian league. Thank you so much for sharing your insight with me, Lim Joe. It's always been nice talking to you, bro.
Oh, same.
I'm looking for a day I'll be able to pull you into the studio.
The day will surely come. I think the listeners will also have to rally. Your listeners will also have to rally that I come to the studio.
Oh, we have to put a campaign to bring you to the studio.
Make sure that I'll come, and I'll definitely make time to come to the studio there and then spend some time with you, so that it's
more lively.
Yeah. It'll be a different flavor for our listeners.
Yes. Charlie, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. We've been speaking with Lim Joe on the sports review segment. We're always wrapping up for the show. My name is Lancer Lawrence, and this has been a Kewiko, the sports review segment. I've been here with DJ Chow. We've been live on Facebook and on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on our website at www.ghanatalksradio.com. You can catch up this show and all our shows on the website, or you can download our app on all app store, the Ghana Talks Radio app. Charlie, everything that we have, our content, everything is there for entertainment, sports, news updates, and everything that you want. There's even game prediction. If you want to win some money, go to our app and then win and predict some few games and win some money. Tonight we have a very interesting show coming up. Domicile at 8 p.m. Still with DJ Cham and Ahmad Shimo there. My name is Lancer Lawrence. Until next week, enjoy yourself, enjoy your content. Bye bye.
This is Ghana Talks Radio, the best station rocking the nation.
Ecstatic made it.
Yeah, nobody feeling the way I'm feeling tonight. Yeah, and I have the hope that things will be alright. Yeah, so we're feeling irate as we hustle all day long.
Ghana Talks Radio in a mix.
The best music in the world. The best.
Best music.
My favorite station.
Ghana Talks Radio. GhanaTalksRadio.com. Listen live.